Buenos dias, oh, RGT85 here. Hope everyone is having a great day, had a great weekend. The Knicks regular season ended last night. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the video, though, because I know nobody cares about the Knicks. You're here to hear about video game news. We actually have 4 stories going on that I want to cover. First time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share if you really enjoyed the video. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games, and Sora is back. Sora is back after making a surprise appearance as the last character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Many people were wondering, well, you know, when's the next Kingdom Hearts game going to be? There was a presentation yesterday for Kingdom Hearts, and Kingdom Hearts 4 was actually announced. Now, this obviously, a lot of people think this is a gameplay trailer. I think it's using in-game assets. I don't think it's necessarily indicative of the gameplay itself, but it looked kind of weird because when you look at Kingdom Hearts games, obviously the whole, crux of them is like Disney stuff. So you could have all these sort of different Disney movies and these, light, colorful areas with a lot of, Disney interaction with various characters and whatnot. And this was a very sterile, like, little trailer. Keen-eyed observers noticed that Sora's feet are now small. So for all you foot fetish people out there, maybe you have a small foot fetish, that should really rustle your jimmies. I don't really understand the whole foot thing. Like feet are fine, if they're washed and you got your toes done or something, we could do something with it, but it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to pursue. But if that's your thing, that's cool with me. But yeah, it was a very interesting thing to see because I don't think anyone was really expecting Kingdom Hearts 4 information this soon. Obviously, we didn't get a release window or release time frame with this game. I definitely think it is quite a ways off. Square Enix has a lot of projects going on right now, and even with the outsourced projects that they are, publishing, they still have a lot on their plate, and the quality, I mean, let's be real, it's kind of been a little bit all over the place. There's been some absolute bangers, but there's definitely been some games where you're kind of like, this didn't really work out the way we thought it would. Obviously, the published title by Square Enix, Babylon's Fall, but that really just sort of falls onto Platinum Games more so. And of course, the recent Chrono Cross game, which has a lot of performance issues when, it's a PlayStation 1 game. I'm not really sure why we have issues with the PlayStation 1 game running on modern platforms. So there is some concern for the game, I feel. Is Square Enix, just trying to do too much? It kind of almost reminds me a bit of Capcom in the early 2000s, because as much as we love Capcom now, Capcom in the early 2000s was like all over the place. They were doing racing games, they were doing, action adventure games, and they really just sort of went a little bit too crazy and lost a lot of their fan base because a lot of the titles just weren't all that quality. But Kingdom Hearts fans, they don't care about that. They care that Sora is back with his tiny little feet, and everyone's very excited for it. I'm not the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan in the world. It doesn't really do much for me. Maybe when we see more of the game and see the actual, Disney environments that we'll be in, I'll get a little bit more excited from this. But yeah, definitely a very strange announcement for a Sunday, but hey, here it was. Are you excited for Kingdom Hearts 4? What do you expect to see? And what do you think of Sora's tiny feet? Let me know in the comments down below. On April 29th, a game I'm really looking forward to is coming out, and that is Nintendo Switch Sports. Now, yes, it's not going to be, a timeless classic or anything like that, although Wii Sports ended up being a timeless classic, but I just feel like this is going to be a very fun game. And the fact that it's essentially Wii Sports with more stuff to do and online modes, I think that's going to make this game really stand out because it gives me something to play online with my friends. You could kind of suck at video games but still have fun with this and enjoy this game. And the Nintendo Switch is such a hot selling item. I feel like there's definitely going to be a big market for it. Well, there were some previews that went up this morning for Nintendo Switch Sports. Well, I guess we could talk about it now, even though you couldn't talk about the beta test of the game, or else Nintendo would come to your house and potentially kidnap your kids and your pets until you took down your information on the game. But a bunch of information went out about this game, and I just want to briefly go over it with you guys. So this summary is coming to us from Go Nintendo. Welcome back, Kevin and crew. Good to see you back. But basically, he summarized all the information that is happening right now with sources from GameXplain and Dexterra. Of course, GameXplain gotta got to play the game first. I don't understand that. I don't get that. Give me the game instead of Game Explain. Just kidding. No beef with Game Explain. But basically, there are only button controls, no traditional button controls. The soccer mode supports up to 2 Joy-Con leg straps. Get a nice workout there. I'm into working out nowadays. In badminton and tennis, you can tire out your opponent by making them run all over the court. This will make them slow to react, especially if they fall. I like that because it gives a little bit more depth to the tennis game. You know, now you have a reason to be sort of paintbrushing the corners, because not so much you're going to get, you know, an ace on it or anything, but you're going to tire out your opponent. So I do like that. By winning multiple sports and games in a row, you'll start a streak and earn faster rewards. There's in-game rewards that are cycled every week. You know, it's just nothing too crazy here. You can set titles for your character. There'll be more animal type characters available in the game, so all you furry fans out there will have something to look forward to. The Wii Sports theme returns. HD Rumble is implemented in various sports. Like I said, nothing too crazy here. The local multiplayer, you can do split screen, including 4-player bowling. It's all just sounding very good. It's all just sounding very good, and like something that's going to be just a fun game. And like, that's what Nintendo, I think, needs to kind of lean into. You know, we talk about things like their back catalog and stuff, but that's something else Nintendo needs to do a good job of leaning into. It's just providing like a fun experience that, let's be real, you can't really get that experience on any other platforms. That's what made the Wii so successful at the end of the day, was providing those games that you couldn't necessarily replicate that well on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Now, of course, the Switch itself has been a global sales phenomenon, so it doesn't really need that push, but I feel like this little extra incentive for people is going to be a very cool thing. I don't know. I'm ready to just absolutely wreck the shit out of little kids online in some of these sports. Like, I wish there was voice chat with like just randos so I could hear like the tears of children like, he didn't give me a chance. And like, damn right, I didn't give you a chance. Just like life isn't going to give you a chance. RGT is not going to give you a chance. God, that sounds terrible. But yeah, Nintendo Switch Sports. I'm looking forward to it. But are you? Let me know. Next up, Sony has been making lots of investments with its PlayStation-related things, and it's actually made yet another investment. I don't really know what this investment quite necessarily means, but I will talk about it very briefly. So this information is coming to us from the Epic blog post because, well, they invested a lot of money into Epic today, more so than they've already invested. So essentially, Sony invested $1 billion into Epic Games to do Metaverse stuff and support its continued growth, because I guess this Metaverse nonsense is kind of here to stay, whether you like it or not. Like, I don't really get it. Like, it's like the fake real world, but it's like, haven't there been like Second Life? You remember that? You remember other things of that ilk, like The Sims? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I feel like you should be striving to make your life a bit more interesting if it's not, you know, what you want it to be. I do think there are benefits to things like the Metaverse. I really enjoy watching NBA games on my Oculus Quest 2. Like, I think that's a really cool experience, and I think that's what these companies should be going towards with the Metaverse stuff, is more of the experience side of things, like, you know, vacation spots or concerts or, you know, sporting events. But it seems like this is all based on Metaverse stuff from Epic, and I cannot help but think, you remember PlayStation Home on the PlayStation 3? I'm sure a lot of you don't remember that, but PlayStation Home on the PS3 was definitely a sight to behold. I think you could argue that that was like one of the first metaverses that was available on consoles that people actually really got into. Like, it was like real life for a lot of people. There were events and things like that. Pretty much what the metaverse is trying to be, what, you know, what they're sort of striving out to be right now, is what PlayStation Home was. So a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe Sony wants to bring PlayStation Home back now that in the metaverse, you know, is a popular thing. It's a thing that, you know, it's a buzzword. It's a thing that people are interested in and people are wanting to experience. Whereas with, you know, PlayStation Home, they couldn't really fully utilize it. A lot of people just didn't appreciate what it was doing. Of course, you also have to factor in that PlayStation VR 2 is coming. So what if they do PlayStation Home with PlayStation VR 2 in this metaverse thing? And like, then you sort of open the world of opportunities. Now, whether or not these opportunities will be enjoyable opportunities, who's to really say? But it seems like Sony is investing into Epic with the Metaverse stuff for a reason. And I think PlayStation Home, it laid a decent groundwork for what we now know as the Metaverse. We didn't really have a buzz line for it or a tag for it then. So I don't know, it could be very interesting. It could end up being absolutely nothing. It could just be an investment to make an investment to help Epic Games, and Sony never sees a return on it. That's kind of how some investments work. It could just be a monetary thing, but I don't know. I'm keeping a close eye on it though, because I think it could be interesting. I'm not the biggest Metaverse guy, but I do like the experiences that VR gives you, because that to me is what VR is all about. More so the experience than kind of the games themselves. But do you think this is a sign of PlayStation Home potentially coming back? You know what to do. And finally, this might be like one of the weirdest leaks I've ever seen. Because usually with leaks, it's like people, hacking into data servers, people, getting games by nefarious means. But when a game leaks and it's actually not done by nefarious means, it's just done by circumstance, like, what do you even call that? I guess I'm going to call it like a big game leak or something like that. Now, this evidently has to do with Advanced Wars that was supposed to come out on the Nintendo Switch. That game was supposed to come out on April 8th. I was really looking forward to it, as I am a fan of Advance Wars 1 and 2. Unfortunately, because of real-world situations, Nintendo decided to delay the game until further notice. Obviously, there's a big conflict going on right now between Russia and the Ukraine. It is what it is. We're not going to deep dive into that sort of stuff going on with it because we're a video game channel. However, that's the reason why the game was delayed. Well, it was delayed, except for like a couple people online, including one person by the Twitter handle named Rachel. Their Twitter handle is actually Killtheth. She's a biologist, a gamer, a cat lady, a feminist. And yeah, so she made a post saying, finally getting to play Advance Wars, but only on my Switch Lite, which had it preloaded to prior to what happened. Will not lie, I did think other people had access to this and didn't expect this tweet to blow up like it did. I have no idea why it's letting me play it, but as far as I'm concerned, I paid 50 quid for this, so I'm going with it. So obviously this person preloaded Advance Wars onto their Nintendo Switch Lite, and of course, people were questioning Rachel and they're like, oh, well, are you really playing it? But scrolling up, like, you could see they're playing the game. Like, this is Advance Wars. This is obviously the new version of the game. It's obviously the dialogue from the game. There's a little interesting update here. Where did it go? That it kind of confused some people. Nintendo has sent me an email saying they're canceling my purchase and refunding. Was fun while it lasted. It got a few missions of the first game's campaign done. And then they followed up saying, I'm aware that they can't revoke my ability to play it if I'm offline. At the same time, once they refund me, it would be illegal for me to still play. So there's that. So the question is, was this gameplay footage captured before that was issued? And that's when you're having it. But, evidently this person has the game. They have the game. So my question is, and this is where things get really weird. How in the hell does this happen? Like, I understand if you preload something and then take that system offline, like maybe that's a thing and you never go online with that system until like after, but then it doesn't even make sense because that footage is captured, I'm assuming, directly from the Nintendo Switch via the capture mode, which then enables you have to go online in order to upload that. So I don't know. I don't know how this happened, and I don't really think anyone could quite explain it. It looks like the timeline of events is this individual, pre-purchased the game on their Switch Lite. They maybe never went online with it again, so the game downloaded onto their Nintendo Switch Lite before Nintendo pulled it, and then they had access to it on April 8th. But you have to go online in order to get access to the game. So I don't even know how the hell this happened. I have no idea how the hell this happened. But are you Columbo? Are you a sleuth and you can figure this out? Let me know in the comments down below. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comment section down below. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Hit that notification bell so you're notified of when I upload. Like, comment, and share. I want to end this by saying, congratulations to the Knicks. It wasn't a great season, But I think the last, 6-7 games were definitely a sign of things to come. Obi Toppin, no stopping Obi Toppin, Goat be Toppin. The man is insane. The man needs to start. If Obi Toppin is not starting at power forward next year for the New York Knicks, I almost said the Nintendo Knicks. The New York Knicks, I'm gonna have a problem, a massive problem. And Emmanuel Quickly, why is he not starting at point guard? This is where you can say, oh, they were just beating up teams that weren't really trying on. Bullshit. Get out. This is the NBA. You play to win the game. None of these teams were tanking. None of these teams had any reason to tank. And Obi Toppin went out there and shit in all of their faces. A masterful game, a masterful way to end the season. And the Knicks, you got a lot of decisions to make. I'm still a Knicks fan, but if you trade Obi Toppin, I will burn my chest hair or something. I don't know. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.